So try friends and family. Now I am here for another kind of video today, which I have encountered a lot of resistance making this video. I deleted this video and someone on Hinge, which we're gonna even get to why I went on there. Someone from Hinge sent me a message that described the video that I made and deleted. My phone doesn't have a lot of battery, so I can't use my microphone. And so Spirit is forcing me to use my voice. I did pick a few cards, and I'm probably going to pick a few more cards to help guide me through this message. I have You Are a Healer, and I have Beautiful Change. I'm going to grab just a few more cards too. Now, I'm on here today, Miracles, True Love, okay? Miracles, Ancient Wisdom. I'm on here today to share my story. And this is very much one part of my story. But for most of you, if you have me on Instagram, you know that I teach sacred sexuality. I'm even furthering my certification right now in sacred sexuality. I've been studying it for years, Tantra. I've been in many courses, and I'm furthering my certification now. So this has been something that honestly has been over 20 years in the making, my sacred sexuality, which you can go on the website. There is a 7-week sacred space for those who are looking to heal from sexual trauma, as well as liberating themselves when it comes to sensuality. Now, I made this video again. I made this video already earlier and I deleted it. I was just like, well, no one wants to hear that. I don't even have to share that. However, I went on Hinge, which we're going to be talking about that. I'm very single. I've been single for years. I haven't had a relationship, like a boyfriend in maybe like 5 years or so. And I've met people here and there. Didn't work out. However, for some reason, I was like, let me just go on Hinge. Check it out. That's the only app I have, by the way. I go on Hinge, and the person who messaged me said, do you feel like your beauty is ever a burden to you? Were you watching me? Were you watching me hours ago? Because I made a video on some of my past and my own testimony, because I do believe, again, ancient wisdom, how did people learn was through storytelling. People would sit in circles and tell stories or share their testimonies, which people would resonate with it and do something with that information. Now, on YouTube, for my first year here on YouTube, I did not show my face. And it's actually even hard for me to show my face now, which a lot of people don't know that, 333. It's not easy for me. I've done a lot of shadow work to even show my face, to speak. I have a speech impediment, and I have Asperger's and ADHD. And so my speech in general, does it ever convey, I feel like, what I'm really trying to say? Maybe not, or that's how I feel, but me here on YouTube, I've worked through a lot of those shadows in order to even show up, which some of it is even showing my face. That's not easy for me. And the reason why it's not easy for me is because that's my biggest trauma. Now, I have a Chiron in Scorpio for first house, Chiron in Scorpio. Chiron is the asteroid of your deepest wounds, a wounded healer. It's also your greatest gift if you choose to face that fear and face those shadows and the wounds, to bring them and alchemize them into light and into your gift. Now, my Chiron is in Scorpio, and in this particular lifetime, this is just this lifetime, just this one, I have dealt with a lot of physical abuse, especially when it comes to like physical intimacy. And it started for me very early. Now, it started for me around the age of 4 to 7. And so from the age of 4 to 7, there were things it is that I experienced which were silenced and suppressed. And what did that do? It ended up distorting the relationship that I had with my body and that I had with men. Now, I love the sacred masculine. I love the sacred masculine. I love Osiris, but that's the thing is, right, when we talk about the divine masculine and feminine, it starts with energy. It's within us and it's without of us. What separates the divine masculine and feminine? Trauma. Trauma. Our egos, the separation, consciousness. And so trauma is such a weapon to our own inner masculine and feminine and the outer masculine and feminine, right? And so for me, I dealt with sexual assault and things alike. And then it continued, though, through teenagehood, through childhood, until I became an adult and I just decided, I actually had a big awakening where it's just like, whoa, this is a gift and I need to pay attention to this gift. I need to heal it. And so for me, I've been sexually assaulted over 10 times, way over 10 times. I mean, way over. It got to the point where, again, although I was in therapy from the age of 4 to 6 on and off for 21 years. 21 years of doing this work to reclaim my body, to reclaim my mind, to liberate my mind, my body, and my soul, from the trauma, from the ways that I kept my own self stuck. And so I teach sacred sensuality because that is my personal deepest wound that I've traveled through for over 20 years and have come a very long way and committed to learning and even healing even more, because I do believe that the journey is infinite. And again, when you go through things, you grow through things. And don't judge your shadow. Don't judge your traumas or what it is that you're going through, but grow through it and turn it into a gift. Turn it into wisdom, because you are a healer with whatever it is that you've been through. Okay, and so I had this moment earlier where I was crying, and I was crying because last night an ex had texted me, and this was someone that I loved. I loved him, and unconditionally, but at this point, it is not unconditional tolerance. And this person messaged me out of nowhere after a while and was like, hey, can I book you for a tantric session? And right away I just said, that's not a good idea. That's going to spark up old feelings again, and let's not do that. Let's not do that. And also kind of makes me a little bit upset, which that's been, and I admit that's been a thing for me, which it is with both men and women. We're blaming the other side. The sacred masculine doesn't hurt you. The sacred feminine doesn't hurt you. Our first divine feminine or masculine, it's always God and Goddess. And so for me, I really reparented myself that God is my father, the Holy Spirit or Goddess is my mother, and that's that. And then after that, I do have earthly parents, but that helped with me reparenting myself is, our first example of safety is our physical mother and father. It doesn't always work that way. And so then when we don't have that safety at first, it distorts how we see the opposite sex or how we see men or women in the rest of our lives. And we end up in those karmic tangles and loops of the illusion and separation. And so, again, I have been sexually assaulted over 10 times. More than that, but over 10 times. And so for me, I remember, I think I made a Facebook post 10 years ago that said, whenever I go near a man, I start shaking. And that's how it was 10 years ago. It's like I see a man and, When I was younger, I was never allowed to go to sleepovers if they had a father. I was not allowed to go to anywhere where there was a man. So it's a mixture of I did have trauma happen to me, and then other people who have been traumatized by men or women that program me with that idea, 10-10. And the sacred masculine is a safe place. The sacred feminine is a safe place. I don't care what trauma I've been through. I don't care what's reflected in my life. I'm always going to believe that the sacred masculine is such a safe place, and so is the sacred feminine. And until I see that, right, or experience that, I will continue working on my own inner feminine or masculine within. Any reflection I see of a masculine without of me, it's talking about my inner masculine, Osiris. And so, you know, we are going to heal that. We're going to continue on that journey of unity, which means seeing the reflection and loving the reflection. And if there's anything that we don't love, exploring that, you know, taking that trigger, going within for that. And so when it comes to my journey, you know, again, if you have me on Instagram, I've been on that sacred sensuality wave for about 2 or 3 years now publicly. When it comes to sharing information, teachings, and holding sessions, which all of my sessions are Zoom, and they're very much one-on-one mentorship and breath work to help open the channels and clear them. And just a lot of the, especially mystery teachings when it comes to sensuality, when it comes to sex alchemy, which has been a big, actually, process in my own healing, is my own practice by myself. You know, there is one practice that which again, people think that it's like always physical. There's a practice of hugging yourself, right? It's the divine feminine's nurture that makes the masculine feel protected. And it's the divine masculine that makes the divine feminine feel protected. His strong energy makes her feel protected. Her gentle energy makes him feel protected. So there's many different practices when it comes to our own inner journey, which again, the twin flame journey is your journey within. Your masculine, feminine energy is all within you. And so for me, I've been for years on the journey, and I mean every day, showing up every day, every morning to my tantric practice, every day, the journaling, you know, and being honest with myself when it comes to looking in the mirror, doing mirror work, you know. I found myself in so many situations as a teenager, you know, and as an older teenager, leading into adulthood of just bad situations, you know, when it came to sensuality. And again, whatever energy it is that we don't heal, you can tend to attract again, you know. And so when that ex messaged me yesterday, I was just like, all right, let's go with it. I have something in my eye, by the way. I totally was not crying 2 hours ago. But this person that messaged me yesterday, it was a trigger, because it's just like, I'm so tired. Like, can you please tell me that I have a nice soul, or this or that? You know, a few years ago on YouTube, actually, it was someone, I remember a comment, which I try not to read the comments too much, because it could be either or, but I read a comment that said, oh, you just want attention, you just this or that. Do you know how long it's even taken me to show my voice? And it's funny I say to show my voice when I really said to show my face. To share my voice and my face. To share myself. And that's what trauma does to us, is it makes us harden and close up. And again, trauma, those energies, that they make you want to not own your gifts, 144. And so it'll make you want to close up, makes you want to not date, makes you want to not like the opposite sex, makes you want to think that people are your competition, makes you want to do all of those different things. You put yourself in situations that you really didn't even need to put yourself in, right? And so for me, my journey has been a very long journey when it comes to the sacred masculine, like my own inner union, which I'm in my own inner union. I have a ring, okay, the infinite. I've had this ring on my finger for 2 years now. And this ring, it does represent Osiris consciousness because it's the infinity sign. It also represents my commitment to my inner masculine. Because again, this has been a journey for me since a child where I grew up being very scared of men, and I mean scared. I mean, if you met me 10, 15 years ago, I would have been shaking if you were a man. You know, my throat was very closed. I would not speak up for myself. I would not set boundaries. And it's very much not that way anymore. I I'm so open, and I probably still have ways to go. Again, this journey is infinite, and I love to learn. I grew up in school. Like, as a kid, I would cry if I couldn't go to school. If I was sick, I would get mad. I spent my entire middle school years and high school years trying to get into one college, and I did get into it. I got pregnant my second year, so I couldn't finish. But I did get into it. And so I love to learn, which is also like when it comes to self-development. I think that the God is my teacher, the universe is my teacher, and when it comes to all areas of my life, or even particular subjects or mystery school or whatever it is, I love to learn, and I'm so open to learning for the rest of my life. I love it. I love coming into higher awareness. But I share this because it's something a lot of people don't know about me. That it was even hard for me to show my face. Where like the first time I ever showed my face, I think like I was like crying. Before and after. Sharing my voice, making this YouTube was not easy. As that was an insecurity of mine, of I don't speak the way that I wish that I could speak. I stutter, I repeat words, and that's a lot of my Asperger's and ADHD, if they're repeating words. And a lot of other things. But I share this because your deepest wound in life is your greatest gift. There's a card here that says Coral's wisdom. Works that are created over great periods of time. This has taken time for me. Oh, look, the Ace of Pentacles fell out from the tarot. This has taken time for me. This has taken me over 20 years of healing those wounds within my own self, not allowing them to control my life, not allowing them to dictate my life, my actions, and what it is that I can manifest and call into my life. Your greatest magic is your healing. We talk about magic and manifesting. And when it comes to spirituality, do not let spirituality and all these practices and cool magic have you bypass 111, what it is that you are healing and doing. It is a mixture of the body, mind, and soul. When it comes to COVID, if anything, COVID was one of the first, and it's interesting that I have herbs here, because I do have herbs in front of me. When it comes to COVID, it was one of our first signs of like, oh wow, I gotta take care of my body. There's this new virus that we know nothing about. There's no vaccine, there's no this, there's no that. I need natural medicine. Or natural ways to heal it. COVID also, like it revealed all the different ways, mind, body, and soul, what needs attention. 12-12 portal, we are the Holy Trinity. We are the Holy Trinity with our mind, our body, and our soul. And so when it comes to even the work it is that I do on here, one of our Pisces soul sisters messaged me, I'll see you soon. When it comes to the work it is that I do on here, it's been years before I even showed up. When it even comes to the spaces it is that I offer, years of me creating it. Even the sacred sensuality temple it is that I have that is on there, that specific space took years. It took 3 years for me to make it and to even launch it. It's taken years for me to open and share my story, and I share this to give a reflection to you. Number one is that we don't know what anyone's been through. We don't know that. because of the different situations I was in. I ended up in some difficult situations of like even borderline sex trafficking and things like that, where I don't know, like God was with me all those years. I know people who are not even here anymore that I knew back then, that got robbed, that this, that. I It was God. It was God of why I'm here, because I went through a lot with, especially my body. I've been saved from a lot. And it's like, even in like when I was in those situations, I would see things happen to other people, but it wouldn't, like those particular things wouldn't happen to me. And I'm just like, whoa, you know, and what's coming through is the poem Footprints. You know, when you didn't see my footprints, that's when I carried you. And so for me, it's like God has always been a part of my journey. God has always been my journey. I was 4 years old the first time I ever sang, you know, Jesus loves me, Yeshua loves me. Despite what it is that I've been through, I have a very resilient spirit, which that's my shadow, is I'm kind of stubborn. But when I can use that in the light, it's like no matter what comes my way, I am going to rise. No matter the new shadow or memory or this or that comes up, oof, I'm going to bring that to higher love and awareness, and oof, I'm going to integrate it. That is us using the shadow for light. You know, and when it comes to like my sacred sexuality journey, that's been a very, very long journey for me. And what has helped improve my relationship to the masculine, which there was years of my life I never thought I could lay next to a man, even just laying down, to trust a friend. And I didn't even think I would get there. We talk about miracles, right? Miracles, ancient wisdom. No matter what it is that you go through, no matter how deep, right? How high or how deep or whatever it is, or how dark, you are the light, and your wounds are your wisdom. You are the healer. Beautiful change. Miracles. Okay, your testimony can help other people. Oftentimes your spiritual gifts are actually you going through your wounds and facing your wounds and your traumas. And those are actually where your gifts are. Why? Because you have the wisdom from those experiences, which can help others. You know, you've cleared those blocks, and so it assists others in clearing those blocks. What's coming through also is the Serpent of Light book it is that I have. All right, the Serpent of Light, which talks about the Earth's rising, the Earth's Kundalini, and the rise of the feminine light. And so I'm sharing this to share my story, which I have not yet done before, especially when it comes to my sacred sexuality journey. I have never, ever shared my journey of the things it is that I've been through, of the journey it's even taken to, and I mean like even sit next to a man. Never mind like have a relationship with one, you know, or yeah, and trauma can be a weapon. We that is separation consciousness. Let me look at men or a woman, and we finger point. We self-sabotage things, right? And I'm gonna grab another message. Creativity. A second chance is never too late. Rose without thorns. You have a right to your joy, peace, sweetness of life. And the sacred waters. Nourishment, replenishment. A second chance, it's never too late. New possibilities. You are a rose without thorns. Doesn't mean that those thorns aren't there. And that's the thing about spirituality. You know, I'm here and I talk about spirituality, but there is also a message coming through here of like being accountable. 444. Now on my tarot channel, I try to come from the highest message where we're taking accountability. That is something the Kalima temple has taught me, and something it is that really has saved me is accountability. You're not a victim. Something happened and that's unfortunate. And no one is going to come save you. You know, my journey has really been of like no one coming to save me. Thank you. I'm thankful for that. I am so thankful for that. Because it allowed me to remember that, one, I'm my own savior. You are your own savior. And two, you know, allowing God to lead. Like, I know, like I allow God to lead my life, which is not easy. It's not easy. But it does always end up working in our highest good. And so I share this too because, and not everyone knows, but in my state, I opened a center, which I'm no longer at that center, but I helped open a center that bridged spirituality and mental health. Why? Because that was a big journey for me when it came to the amount of abuse that I experienced, which it was not just physical, but you're accountable for yourself. No one is going to come save you. And so we must remember who we are. And that is through the integration of the healing of your mind, your body, and your soul. Now, people take the spiritual path for healing, which, yes, because again, it needs to be a balance. However, like I did not just get here with just spiritual healing. It was through EMDR, it was through meditation, which is spiritual, through talking, through sharing my story. There are so many different ways. And I think that sometimes on the spiritual journey, people can bypass the other parts or things, you know, or make excuses for certain things where it's just like, no, you just need to heal. Your greatest magic is actually in your healing. You know, we talk about, and I just talked about this earlier, so maybe I meant to mention it, you know, goddess, right? Like I throw around the term goddess, but I take it seriously. Any statement, and this is something that Michael Murdad teaches, any statement after I am, you are making an I am statement. I am, which means that does not turn off. I am goddess. But when I take off this makeup and I take off this earrings and this and that, you are still a goddess. And a goddess, the path of the goddess is not like, I'm a goddess and I'm going to be worshipped and I'm just so in this. It's not that. It's dirty, it's nitty, it's gritty. A goddess is taking your shadow and bringing it into the light. It's standing in between the two pillars equally. A goddess is taking all of your shadows and alchemizing them all to God, which is not easy. And when it comes to the goddess energy, right, in advertisement and spirituality and things like that, it just looks like, again, how would you envision a goddess, right? But that gold, I'm getting the image of gold, right? Because a goddess, people think it's just glitz and glam. It is ugly. It is crying ugly. It is facing your shadows. It is the alchemy. It's the screaming. It's the laughing. It's the bringing it all back to joy and abundance and life, declaring life over your life. And so I share this because when it comes to your journey or your goddess journey, right? Your goddess journey, which this is my 7th year actually. So I shared that on my community posts that 7 years ago I wrote, Dear Goddess. I wrote all these different things. And it's 7 years since then. And this year, 2023, is the year of 7. A few years ago, I got 777 tattooed on me, which represents the Holy Trinity in mastery, perfection, of self. And so I share this because, like, what is the goddess journey? Which is a journey it is that I've been on and am on. That is you coming back home to God. That is you coming to the heart space. That is goddess, is operating from that heart space. Not the root, not the this, not the that, the heart space. Not seeing separation without of you and things like that, the heart space, unity consciousness, which is not easy. It is constant ego death. It is constant accountability. There is so much magic in your accountability. And spirituality or tarot or anything is never in replacement of any other healing techniques that you may need or have. Someone who, like, for example, if you have a whole lot of trauma, you probably don't want to go to ayahuasca first. You probably don't want to do that. You probably should find other ways to release, because that's going to be a big purge and it's not going to be fun. You probably don't want to go straight to open the third eye if you haven't even worked on your root chakra, because then you're just going to open your third eye and you're just going to see fear because everything else is still blocked. Great works that are created over great periods of time. When it comes to spirituality, you start at the root, which my Goddess Rising class that I have right now, we're starting at the root. I'm not going to bring you all the way to the third eye chakra. You're going to start at the root. Because again, works that are created over great periods of time. Time keeps coming up lately, and Kalima is the goddess of time. However, what's also coming through, though, is like timing and understanding timing when it comes to magic and manifestation. Sometimes people are wondering, like, I just manifested it and I haven't seen it yet. It takes time. You're calling back your soul fragments. You are clearing generations of trauma, not just this lifetime. And in this world, everything is quick. TikTok, quick. Send them a text message, quick. Online dating could be replaced in a split second, quick. Is that necessarily a good thing? We need a balance of everything, right? A balance of everything. And so great things aren't done very quickly. It takes time. And what that does is it establishes a very firm and stable foundation. And so on this journey, I get so many people who ask about manifestation and life purpose and this and that. Your magic is always going to be found in your healing. Always. My magic was found in my healing. The more that I healed, the more gifts I had, which even from a child, for me, it was very, very open. I've always been like that extra sensory perception, so sensitive, all the clairs, and even that has taken a lot to accept. However, take your time on this journey. Take your time on this journey. There's no need to rush. Again, TikTok, internet, fast, this, that. It's a consumer's world. Take your time. Your journey is your journey. Tunnel vision. I know I have tunnel vision. I'm not looking that way. I'm not looking that way or that way or that way. When it comes to the scale, right? Divine masculine energy, which divine masculine energy is just our lower chakras, divine masculine, divine feminine, then there's God. The divine feminine looks up at God. Divine masculine looks up at the divine feminine, which again, if you take it within you, the lower chakras, we're looking up at the heart space. We're just rising, I share this because there's someone out there who may have a similar story as me. And we talk about miracles. When I was 12 years old, I was told that I would never heal. I was told that I would have depression for the rest of my life. Incurable. I'm a stubborn bitch, and so good luck with that. And that is the journey. that is the journey of coming back home to yourself. Number one, canceling, revoking anything that they've spoken on you, anything that you've spoken on yourself, right? Because when it comes to even like the way that we speak to ourselves, it's so important. When it comes to you manifesting your dream reality, when it comes to you manifesting your life purpose or anything, the love, the money, the whatever it is, it does always start within. So even when it comes to like me being here, it's been a very long journey for me to even speak, for me to even show myself. And your greatest gift, go to your astrology chart, check out your Chiron. Okay, check out your Chiron, because that usually shows your deepest wound in life. It is your greatest gift. Okay, whispers of Mother Earth, creativity, ideas, inspiration, artist, and channel. You are a channel of the divine. And what it is that you figure out in this lifetime, like I cracked that code, right? I healed that. What I thought was impossible, I did that. And now I can embody it and share that with others, that wisdom it is that I've acquired. The Arcturian energy is coming up too. So the Arcturians and Arcturus, they all had special gifts. They all operated 5D and up. They operated from the heart space. And I mean every single one of them. We're trying to do that here. We are trying to do that. We're catching up slowly in this world. However, when it comes to the Arcturians, they know that they all have their special abilities and talents and gifts, and they just all use it simultaneously. You know, and that is very much what we are meant to be doing here. What we are meant to be doing is bridging the 5D. We're meant to bridge unity, consciousness within our own selves and without, sacred union, heaven meeting earth through us bridging that higher energy and then sharing that. And so when it comes to your journey, this is for anyone out there who has dealt with those things or dealt with any sort of trauma that made you feel stuck, that impacted, again, your birthright. Take the pen and rewrite that. Take the pen and rewrite it. For example, for me, right, I've been through a lot when it comes to sensuality, when it comes to masculine energy, when it comes to my body. I'm taking the pen and rewriting that. I am going to have a very beautiful union in this lifetime. I don't care my experiences. I don't care what I've been told. Men are beautiful. Men are a safe and sacred space. And we're not perfect. We're not perfect. But the sacred masculine is not, or the sacred feminine is not the trauma that you've experienced. And so don't normalize that. Heal it. I remember I had like an old friend, which again, like I even used to be in the energy of just like, ew, this. You're blocking yourself. You are blocking yourself. Forgive yourself. Forgive the past. And that is true liberation. Now this card keeps showing up. The Great Mother, surrender to the mystery and fall into her arms. Okay, I'm going to grab some other cards too. When it comes to the power to give and to receive healing, purpose, attunement, vision quest, shamanic journey, the wounds that you heal, the parts of you that feel dark, when you heal it, it's light. That is light, okay? There is light in your shadow. You've got the light to fight the shadow, so stop hiding it away. Come on, come on. It's called Read All About It, that song. You've got the light to fight the shadow, so stop hiding it away. The power to give and to receive healing, healing earth, and we have you are a healer. Your greatest healing gifts come from your own healing. Your wisdom comes from the lessons it is that you've learned. And that's very particular to you. We all have our unique soul blueprints. And we could either see our traumas as like, oh my God, I chose that soul contract. Oh my Lord Jesus. Which sometimes it's just like, I did not sign that. I did not. I guess I did. But we could take accountability for that. We did not necessarily, and let's maybe for a moment forget about past lives and soul contracts. You may not have chosen that. You may not have. But are you going to own it? Because this is the reality it is that you're living in. Are you going to own it? And spirituality, again, tarot, all of that is great. But also own the reality. Own it. Of what needs to be healed, what needs to be addressed, what needs to be held accountable, what needs to be loved. Owning it, which is not easy. That's like you looking in the mirror and saying, I can be the bad guy sometimes, and that is not easy. We self-sabotage ourselves. We all have a light and a shadow. I don't care who it is. We all do. But even the shadow in others, like I know for me, and it is a lot of the Kalima energy, which I have Kalima tattooed right here, and her tongue quite literally represents just like, oh, shadow, she devours it. And even the shadow knows, like, it's just the way that I feel is that, when I see someone that has a shadow, I'm just like, oh, that is a gift, okay? Serpent of light, like it is a gift. That's why I do a lot in my work. I work more as a shadow worker because I see that shadow. I'm just like, oh. But if we are to look at that and to bring it into light, oh my goodness, you have such a gift. And that's really the energy of the Dark Mother, the Dark Goddess, Lilith, Persephone. It's just like, oh, shadow, ho, 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 ho. Let's bring it to light, which not everyone operates that way or works that way or even feels that way about shadow work and the shadow, which again, because it's not easy. It's a divine service to face yourself, and it's the best thing you could do in this world. If you want to change the world, change yourself. If you want to change the world, change yourself. And then go back out there. And so I share this message just because it kept coming up for me. And then I even made a video about it. And then on Hinge, someone randomly asks me, does your beauty ever feel like a burden? And even me saying that, I could probably attract a lot of judgment from me saying, like even repeating that. But what I will say is that it's been a long, long, long journey with my body and reclaiming my body and knowing that I deserve safety. Of what it is that I do deserve. That's been a very long time. But this is also someone else's story. There's someone out there that you've maybe dealt with similar things. And you could feel stuck or just like, well, this is my life. Take the pen and rewrite it. Step out your estimate. Step into your excellence. I'm in the presence, right? No, I'm not just preaching. I'm taking my own advice. Okay? And so when it comes to your journey, like life purpose, right? We're going to end off with a Isis message. When it comes to your life purpose, when it comes to your spiritual journey, your creations, you yourself, you are your best creation ever and yet. Online, they make everything seem like it's always quick, and I'm just here to tell you that it doesn't always work that way. It's sometimes best not that way. All right, let's get a message. What's a final closing message? Cartouche, divine names of power. Divine Sunchild, blessings of the Sun Falcon. Cartouche is an energy of protection, but it's also like it speaks of divine names of power. A particular name, right, that is coming to you now. For some of you, you may be receiving downloads from like a new spirit guide or different spirit guides that may be coming in for you at this time that want to assist you in your healing. I'm going to get the right of this card. Hold on. Of course, my mic works now. Cartouche Divine Names of Power. The card encourages you to use your voice. That may be through speaking, through mantras, through just sounds and syllables. But what the cartouche card represents is using your voice, being intentional with your words in all areas of your life. I am a healer. I will, I am, I can, I shall, it will. And so being mindful of the ways it is that we speak to ourselves, which has, again, in this particular journey of mine, it has been completely, and I mean completely, in talk therapy, EMDR, sacred medicine. I've been to over 20 sacred medicine ceremonies of all different kinds. It's been a journey. And I'm open for the infinite journey. But it's been a journey. And the way it is that we speak to ourselves is so important, which that is what the Temple of Isis teachings is, the importance of your pronunciation and your speech. Okay, your speech. There's power in your words. And one way it is that I have really healed is by opening up that voice and commanding. Like, no. Sometimes it's just no. No. I said no. Sometimes it's yes. Sometimes it's not today. Sometimes it's I reclaim every soul fragment that I've ever lost due to trauma in any time, space, or dimension, and I call it back now. 144. And so for me, it's been a journey of me speaking. Of me speaking my truth. And a part of my healing journey has been calling things out and calling it out like, nope, 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 yes. I will not allow past traumas to have kept me prisoner and stuck. And then think about all the ways that trauma, right? We talk about, and then when it comes to spirituality, there's thought forms, right? And all of those different things. There's the mental, there's the emotional field. Think about all of the energies you've picked up from trauma, or either other people that are not your own that you have just taken on as your own story, as words that you believe. Like that doctor that told me as a little kid, nope, it's never going to happen. No, I'm not accepting that. And don't say that to me. Don't speak that upon my life. I don't know necessarily what people think about me. And I don't think that we should know, like, it's none of my business. It's none of your business either. Like, what anyone thinks or anything. And it doesn't necessarily matter. And, but this has been a very long journey for me. And I've wanted to share my life story, which this is just a snippet, but I've wanted to share my life story since I was a child, and I've never been able to. I do share it just to let you know that miracles are real. Like, God has truly performed miracles in my life of just things that I should not have healed from, right? Of things that I've been told are impossible or this or that. And that was never done like this. And that's me like sharing the true, authentic journey of that goddess journey it is not. Like in the temples, the priests and priestesses, they would study for up to 40 years. 40 years. And I know for me, like, I'm ready for the rest of my life. Let's learn. I'm ready, and I'm so open and willing and an eager student of life itself, of the mysteries, and in general. When it comes to your journey, and I really share this honestly for the people out there that like you have a hard time even accepting it, or there's a lot of trauma to heal from. No matter how much you have been through, Make this the lifetime. This is the lifetime of all lifetimes. That you liberate yourself, that you heal yourself. And that is your birthright. Your birthright is to live a life that is happy, that is joyful, that is abundant, that is loving. And I know for me, it's like, you told me that years ago, I'm like, oh yeah, where? I don't see it. That's you speaking upon yourself. That's you casting spells upon yourself. Don't do that. Speak with intention. Speak with integrity. Speak knowing that it is true. And that is not to say that it can happen tomorrow, which it's also to say, be open to it. Maybe it can. This is a beautiful, miraculous, infinite universe of just infinite possibilities. But also understand that this process, it's the body, the mind, and the soul. We need to, all of it. All of it. Don't spend too much time on the soul and then not on the physical body, because you will be led there at some point to bring it into balance. There's the mind, the body, the soul. You are the Holy Trinity. And in your deepest, deepest wounds that are kind of hard to accept or that have taken time to accept, that is your greatest gift. That is your greatest gift in this world. One, by healing it, because it starts there. Two, share your gift. Be a safe and sacred space. Especially for the divine masculine and feminine. Like, I know that inner union journey is a big journey for me, and I am so committed to continuously rising even in that too. That's what I have for you today. I hope and I pray that this helps someone out there to reclaim themselves, to reclaim your time and your space. I call back my energy from every time, space, and dimension. You're going to come back to me. And anything that makes me think otherwise, I'm not going to allow those blockages. You are a rose without thorns. It is never too late. New possibility. It doesn't matter how old you are, how much you've been through. You deserve to live your birthright. And I'm not actually going to sit here and tell you, yeah, it's going to happen right away. It's going to happen quickly. My process really sped up, I would say about 4-5 years ago is when it sped up. And it did happen pretty quickly for me. But what people don't see is the 21 years that I've actually really been on this journey. You are worthy. You are valued. You have very powerful gifts that are meant to be displayed. There are people that are waiting for your gift. And maybe it's not online. Maybe it's not through tarot. Maybe it's not, maybe it's like not in any of those kind of spaces. Maybe it's someone that you go to at the grocery store that just needed your beautiful heart and your smile. That maybe 5 years ago, it could have been hard to even do that. There is gold within your shadow. You just got to go digging. That's what I have for you. I thank you for witnessing me, and I thank you for being on this journey with me. Now, if you would like a personal session, a Akashic Records session, which Akashic Records have been multidimensionally healing for me as well, or a one-on-one session, check out the box below. It has my website, 144bluerosetemple.com. There's also a 24% off coupon code. 2024 is magic for all services. And for mentorships, 33% off. Invest 888 because, again, I've been through a lot. I've been homeless many times. I've been hungry many times. And I mean like over 10 times homeless, hungry a lot, and so it's been a long journey for me. It's been a long journey. And it's been so worthwhile. It's been so liberating, so reclaim your power, reclaim your energy. Whatever it is that you've been through, that is a testimony. Your test was a testimony. Your test was a testimony. Okay? And the world needs you to remember that you are whole. And for people if you resonate with what I've said, if you resonate with my journey a little bit, it can be hard, right? To feel that way. You are whole. I've been through so many mentorships. I've been through so many sacred spaces and medicine and circles, and you are whole in your own birthright. That's what I have for you. I pray that this reaches you in the way it is that it's intended to. And I love you. Have a great day.